All right, we're on the Unit 4 review, and I'm starting with question number 5. And number 5 says, for questions 5 and 6, state the name of each transformation occurring. Example, write 5 spaces. Reflect about the x-axis or down 1 space. Along with the, let's just say the effect that the transformation would have on your ordered pair. Example, I'm going to add 5 to my x value, change the sign of the y value, subtract 1 from the y value. The transformation must be given in the correct order in which they would be applied. You do not actually have to do the problem. Okay, so if you remember the order, it was Henry rents vehicle. That's the mnemonic device. So horizontal shifting, reflection, and then vertical shift. So let's see what we have here. This negative is definitely going to be a reflection, and the -4 is a horizontal movement. So I'm going to do the -4 first. So I'm going to put a little note, x -4. Okay, that means I'm going to shift the graph 4 places to the left. Okay, so what does that do to my ordered pair? If you think about it, if I switch things 4 places to the left, then I'm going to subtract 4 from the x values. Okay, the next thing I would handle is that negative in front of the 5x -4. So that negative, what happens with that is I'm going to have a reflection about the x-axis. And if I flip it over the x-axis, what happens is my x values actually stay the same, but my y values change signs. So the effect on the ordered pair, change signs on the y coordinates of the ordered pairs. Okay, so that is question number 5. Question 6 has the same directions, so we're going to look at and figure out what we do first. Again, remember the mnemonic device was Henry rents vehicles. So let's see if we have any horizontal shifting first, and we do. Inside the parentheses, we have -x + 2, but the +2 is going to be the horizontal. So I'm going to put a little note. I'm doing the x + 2, not the negative, but the x + 2. So that's going to shift the graph 2 places to the left. So I'm going to subtract 2 from my x values of the ordered pairs. And I'm just going to go back and fix number 5. I'm sorry, I got that one wrong, so let's fix it right now. You're actually going to, because it's x -4, you're going to shift the graph 4 places to the right. Sorry about that. So let's fix that. I went back up. Again, I'm on number 5. I caught my mistake doing number 6, okay? So I'm going to shift the graph 4 places to the right. So I'm going to add 4 to the y values. So I'm going to add 4 to the y, to the, my goodness, x values. Okay, now back down to 6. So 6 is okay. The x + 2, shift the graph 2 places to the left. That means I subtract 2 from my x values. Okay, now I'm going to deal with this -x in front of -x + 2. So I'm dealing with this. What that does is that's going to cause a reflection about the y-axis. Okay, so what's that going to do? I'm going to have to change the signs of the x coordinates of the ordered pairs. Okay, so I'm just going to reiterate 6 and 7, or 5 and 6, excuse me. In the first one, that x -4, we shift the graph 4 places to the right. that allows us to add 4 to the x values to get that proper graph. And then we had the negative in front of 5, the base, negative in front of the base. That's a reflection about the x-axis. That means we have to change the size of the y-coordinates. And for number 6, we had negative x plus 2. So I have to do the horizontal shifting first. The x plus 2 means we shift the graph 2 places to the left. In order to do that, I have to subtract 2 from my x values, and that negative inside the parentheses, that makes me reflect the graph about the y-axis. And in order to do that, I'm going to change the signs of the x-coordinates of the ordered pair. Okay, so that was 6 and 7. I'm going to, 5 and 6. I am going to do 7 as well in this video. Show all work for this problem. Use the compound interest formula A equals P 1 plus R over N raised to the NT and A equals P e to the RT to solve. We're going to have 2 separate problems here. So problem number 1, we will be using A equals P 1 plus R over N raised to NT. And problem number 2, we're going to be using A equals P e to the RT. Now, if you don't have a calculator, you might want to pause me and go get it, okay, because you're going to need it. So let's read the problem. Suppose that you have $5,000 to invest. So in the first one, that is the principal, so we're going to go ahead and put that in. In the second one, that's also the principal, so let's go ahead and put that in. Okay, 1 plus. Which investment would yield a greater return over 8 years? 8 is the time for both, okay? 7.35 compounded continuously. If it's compounded continuously, you have to use A equals E to the RT. A equals P E to the RT. So this is compounded continuously. Okay, all right. So at that rate, I can't use 7.35%. I have to change it to a decimal, so it becomes 0.0735. That is the rate. And the time is 8, as we discussed before. And the other one, it says 7.5 compounded quarterly. Quarterly is N. N equals 4, because it's 4 times a year. So the rate is 7.5, which we have to change that to a decimal, so 0.075 over N, which is 4, raised to the N, which is 4, times the time, which is 8. Okay, I'm going to work on the left. So A equals 5,000, 1 plus 0.075 over 4, raised to the 32nd power. So in your calculator, you have to work inside parentheses first. So I'm going to do 0.075. I'm going to divide that by 4. And when I do that, I get 0.01875. Now I'm going to add 1 to that. And when I do that, I get 1.01875. And I'm going to raise that value to the 72nd place. Remember, to raise it on most calculators is the caret key. So I'm going to do that. And when I do that, I get 1.812023793. So that's a lot. So 1.812023793. And I'm going to multiply that by 5,000. So that value is in my calculator, so all I do is times 5,000. And when I do that, I get 9060.118. Now remember, we're talking about money. That's why I took it out to the thousands place. So money, we have to round to the hundreds place, all right? The 8 is behind the 1, so I'm going to round it up. So 9060.12. So $9,060.12. That's with compounded quarterly at 7.5%. Now let's go to the other side here. A equals 5,000 e to the. Now I'm going to multiply 0.0735 times 8. And when I do that, I get e raised to 0.588. Now I'm going to take e. It's usually found underneath the ln button. So e raised to the 0.588. And when I do that, I get 1.8003. Okay, let me fix that. So 1.800384,044. And I'm going to multiply that by 5,000. So that's already in my calculator, so times 5,000. And when I do that, I get $9,000, $9,001 and 920. Again, rounding to the hundreds place because we're talking about money. It's $9,001 and 92 cents. So the better deal is actually the compounded quarterly. So this one is the one. So again, if it's compounded quarterly, annually, whatever, you're going to use this formula that I used at the top. If it says compounded continuously, you use the PE to the RT. All right, thanks for watching 5, 6, and 7, and good luck.